and he observes. So he won't say anything. He just sits back. And then when it's just me and him, he'll sit down and he'll say everything he noticed. The same thing my dad will do. My dad is that same person. He will sit back, won't say anything, just sit back and observe. And then when he's done observing and he feels comfortable speaking, he will speak what he's observed. My dad's the same way. I never forget this one time we went to a church, mega church that was like, if you guys go on 826, if you're going to like the fair, it was right where the Christmas store was. It was in that area where the Christmas store was.
By Dandy Bear?
Yeah, by Dandy Bear.
Shout out to Dandy Bear if you remember that.
Your old school.
By my old school. I think it was actually, it was right around there. It was a little bit... Yeah, it was
my
like
6th birthday there. It was my best birthday.
It wasn't too far from Dandy Bear. It was like right in that area.
Yeah.
And we went to that church because our neighbor at the time would go. And so me and mom would go because we liked it. And then one day dad sat down. He went with us and he sits down. And the guy is like, he asked for offering the first time. And then he asked for offering the second time.
In one service?
In one service. And my dad stood up and said, you're a robber. You're a thief. Asking individuals to come in here. Like, he literally stood up and then he walked out because my dad just read the bullshit coming off of this man. And that's why, like, I think for me, I was always very apprehensive of, like, I'll never forget, I went to church one time, Easter Sunday, and I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm in church. And this man starts talking about gays and how gay's this and how gay's that and God. And I was like, this is not what Easter Sunday is about.
Can I just say, because I do have to go to the bathroom, but can I just say that people who preach hate towards gays are like doing the exact opposite of what like God would want. And I got into such a heated debate with this person the other day that I like literally cried because I couldn't fathom the amount of hatred that they had in their heart.
Huh?
And, what?
No, keep going.
Oh.
Can I what?
But so like it just made me sick because it's just like you claim to be this person who has compassion and empathy for all people and all this, except for gay people and their adopted children, which I'm pretty sure God teaches like all.
Because you have to go to the bathroom, so I don't want to stop the conversation. So I'm trying to see if we can pause the recording.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't think we can.
Okay, well.
Yeah,
you guys, and you can edit it too, because I'm pretty sure you don't want your listeners hearing this part of this conversation.
Our listeners listen to everything.
Sponsorships. If we had sponsorships, we would have did like a little sponsorship.
This is where they would have been like sponsored in.
Hello Fresh.
Yeah, but I feel like I get you.
Okay.
That's why for me, like, that experience turned me off completely. Like, I literally, like, never went back to that church. Never felt like going back to that church because...
What is that church? Like,
it's in Tallahassee. I was in Tallahassee.
No, I'm talking about the church over down hood.
It's not there anymore.
They knocked it down? Right?
It's not there, yeah. They took it away. I don't know what they did with it.
I think I heard about that church. Like, my mom was talking about it.
But I don't, like, it was big. It was like a mega church because I remember that they would, like, take us away and put us, the kids would, like, go into a place. Like, said, like, take that away, like, they would make us disappear. But they would put us in, like, the kids' area, and the kids' area had its own little space. And it was a pretty big church. But, like, my dad went that one time, and he never went again. Because he knew what that was and how that was all, like, fucked up in a way.
Church is the original. I can't say that for every church though, because there's some churches that would, well, you supposed to get an offering one time, but it's churches that like do the, that have offerings, but you can tell they really need it. But there's some churches like, if I'm in a mega church, I'm like, bruh, you don't need the money.
I went to this recently. I went to a church, and I'm gonna give it a try again. Because my cousin goes to it and she feels very like, we're going to have Janelle on here one day, I promise. This new season, we're going to have guests because you guys also liked having guests the last season. So I think that we're going to do that a lot this season. But I went with her to this church called Voss, VOUS church. And it was nice. I liked going, and it had a great message. But there was one thing that really turned me off. And it was that the pastor, the person speaking, he didn't make an effort to, after the services, come out and greet the constituents. Like, he didn't come out and, like, talk to the people that were there. And he would come out maybe once or twice. He wouldn't come out, like, from what I was told, he would come out maybe sporadically, but he wouldn't come out all the time. And I felt like, no, as a pastor, I would make it my mission to be out there with my people, to talk to my people. Even if I get bombarded with 5 billion people, I want to be with the individuals who come to my church and give me money. And if after that, like after they told me that, I was kind of like, but I'm going to try and go again, just because he preaches very well.
But he wasn't out there with the people? No, I don't know. I don't rock with that. Like, let me tell you something. Well, technically, I am gonna be a priest one day. So, like, whoever, like, I help and stuff like that, I want them to embrace me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want them, like, even like, I want them, you know, come to like our Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, you family now. You know what I'm saying? So, just, I don't know.
That for me was because I've gone to other churches and they were bigger too, but the father made it an effort to stay a little bit after church so that you could come up, shake their hand, or just. Oh yeah. But he, like, that was, to me, it was a great experience. I liked going to it, like seeing, like, they do a lot of community things, but for me that was just the one thing that I was like, I can't come to your, like, I don't feel comfortable coming to your church if you're not willing to be out here talking to me.
Yeah, that's what I miss about, like, Pastor Lennon. Like, she would hang around after church. I could just go, and this is just my experience, but I know others did too. Like, you just go sit in her office. You know, some pastors are like, make an appointment with my secretary. She's like, no, if my door's open, come in and sit with me. We can talk, or you can just sit in here. You can do your homework, whatever. And then, like, after church, like I said, she would just hang around for a little bit. And people would talk to her. I would see her at community events, like, outside of the church that had nothing to do with the church. Like, we used to have programs at the police department. She'd be there. If it was something to do with, like, there was, like, I forgot what it's called, Lighthouse something, but basically it was like a home for homeless mothers and their children. She'd be out there. Like, you know what I mean? She was really, like, out there with the people. And I don't see that a lot. Again, I'm not involved in the church anymore, but, like, especially with this last, like, joke of a pastor my church had, like, he wasn't doing the things that she was doing. And it sucks because, like, my church's membership, apparently now, like, on a good day, there's 5 people there.
Yeah, because it's not genuine. That's how you know when the church is empty. It's not real. Negativity. Like, I remember Father Barry from St. Agnes. You know, when they baptized me.
So sorry, you guys.
First communion and everything. Like, he was like an extended, like, uncle or grandparent or something where we could just go and talk to him for about, it could be hours. Just talk about life. Like, I remember I had to get a recommendation for school and stuff like that before I went to college. And he was like, send me all the information. Like, I got you, you know? Like, anything that you need, like, I got you. Like,
but that's what I feel like churches were supposed to be in the old. That's what they're supposed to be now. They're They're supposed to be an area where the community comes together and they not only worship God and praise God, but they also, like, come together and help each other out as a community. And, like, I feel like we've lost that in the greediness that a lot of like pastors have. It's not the same anymore. It's not the same for a lot of people. And I just feel like that's a shame because churches could make a big difference in a lot of our communities.
Let me tell you something. My church was in Overtown. And then just look at the community of Overtown and look at all the communities in Miami. So Florida, whatever. Because if we have like, I remember I forgot what Sunday it would be, but maybe a Sunday where it was a Episcopal church, so they gather all the churches from different like parts of the city or the state, or even like in the country or the what I'm saying, or like the region, because Florida, Miami's kind of far, so like we're looking to have people from like Georgia and Alabama and stuff like that, though. But that's how the church is supposed to be. Like it's supposed to welcome anybody and everybody. Nowadays it's like it kind of have that, but it's more for the money. You know what I'm saying? It's more for the.
It's not about the
it's
people.
fake now. Like as far as like in my concern, so I'm not saying all churches are like that.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's very rare to see that. See that genuine.
I was just sitting here thinking about like when was the moment that I was officially turned off from going to church, and it was during Christian mission school. I don't know like if in your denominations you have School of Christian Mission. It's basically like over the summer you go for a week and you go to like it was held at different college campuses.
I don't know what that is.
So
I did PACE.
Yeah.
We had to do like my freshman year. We did like we stayed at the school I think for like a day or so.
Oh,
no, it was for like a whole day.
Oh.
My sophomore or junior year, we stayed for like a weekend.
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 days of school.
Ours was like Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday, something like that. It was like during the middle of the week, and I'll never forget. It was 2007. I was 16, and it's all about we're supposed to be learning about doing mission work, doing the work of Christ, like being a better Christian and all of that. And I'll never forget. We were at Bethune-Cookman, which is where I wanted to go until that summer. Yeah, God, thank you so much for that because I'm so glad I didn't go there. But anyway, no offense.
The best school in Florida is the Panthers.
What is the Panthers?
FIU, girl. No, nobody.
I'm talking about black colleges.
FIU black too, but
no, it's not.
Hey,
right.
Let me be real with you before you go.
All
The first professor that was at FIU was an African American.
That does not make it a historically black college or university.
I don't care. I know that, but
Can you talk to him?
No, I had sisters and all of them that went to HBCU.
Good. Okay.
I almost went to HBCU, but I just wanted to be different.
You missed out.
Not really. I feel like I ain't really missed out.
I always felt like HBCUs depended on the people, and
I would love to go and experience it when my kids go, but I just feel like
for him,
going
it was best
going to like. You gotta remember, like I said, like I know there's a difference between actually being there 24/7, but for me, being raised in the church that was like black, like it was built from the Bahamas, and then having my sisters go to Alabama State and going to Clark, and then my brother went to Morris Brown, but I went with them when they went to them visits to the different schools.
How old is your brother to go to Morris Brown?
40-something.
Okay.
But I like for me, like I always wanted to go to this. My dream school was Howard because I always wanted to be like a lawyer or work in business and stuff. So that was like my dream school. Mm-hmm. But then like for me, I looked at it. I think it was a sibling thing. I just want to be different. I remember my sister was like, "Oh, he want to go. He don't want to go to no Alabama State. Like he want to go to the University of Alabama. Like he want to go to PWI." Mm-hmm. And I'm just like,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing at the end of the day.
But then I tell Sadie all the time, just because you go to HBCU, not her, because she solid. But I'm saying like, even from people of my own color, they think just because going to HBCU solidifies their blackness. I'm like,
no, God, no. There's some self-hating.
For me, I love the tradition of HBCU. I love it. Like I love everything and stuff. I may have my jokes about it.
Yeah.
But if it was one thing I'll change, it's to be able to witness an HBCU, like actually going to the college. But it's also like it also feel good to see like kids that go to Harvard and Stanford,
and Stanford.
black kids. Because I had a a lawyer. Like he's an actual lawyer now. He practicing everything.